Good morning, everyone. All right, let's go ahead and
Good morning.
Good morning.
get started. Bear with me as I pull up my notes. All right, so while I'm pulling up my notes, anybody have any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything that I can address while I'm getting myself together here? All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. So we are talking about for sale by owners. We're hold on one second. All right, there we go. Sorry, actually, my notes disappeared as I pulled them up. Of course, that's always fun. All right, so we're talking about for sale by owners. We're going to continue on that topic. I do apologize about being just a minute or two late. Anybody have any questions? Feel free to just go ahead and jump right on in. For those of you that are joining us over on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, thank you guys for being here with us. Let's go ahead and pick up with where we left off. Yesterday, we had talked about creating a follow-up system. And in this follow-up system, it is important. Why is it important? Simply because of the fact that we don't want to be those agents that show up, call one time, and then, that's it. We want to build a system to the fact that we're calling them every single week. Okay, we're calling them every single week. And part of that system of calling them every single week, part of it is getting together a three-ring binder. Okay, so in that three-ring binder, you're going to have tabs 1 through 12. And in those tabs 1 through 12, it represents basically every week. Okay, so tab number 1 is going to be week number 1. Tab number 2 is going to be week number 2. And in that for sale by owner profile sheet, you're going to go through, you're going to check off as to each topic. Okay, so where do we focus on? What do we park? What's the importance of continuing to follow up and call them? Well, we want to focus on their motivation. Okay. And as we go through, identify with what their motivation is, it helps us to move along that conversation. Okay. So it is important that we understand that the entire purpose of us continuing to follow up with them is to identify their motivation. Now, the other thing too is I want you all to what I call is play the penny game. Okay, any of you guys understand or ever heard of the penny game?
No.
No.
All right. So in the penny game, what that basically represents is I want you guys to think of you're putting 5 coins at the very, very top of your desk, and each coin represents a closing. Okay, so each time you go through, you try to go through a close, you're going to go ahead and pull that coin down from top to bottom. This is going to help you. This is a very simple little trick that a lot of top producers have used in the past, something that I've used. And you just simply go through, you grab the coin, you pull it down, and you use it for that purpose of that close. You guys got that? Okay, and you're going to go through, you're going to have 5 coins, and the goal is to close a minimum of 5 times. Okay, that's basically the purpose of that. The other thing too is I want you all to take advantage. The advantage that I'm referring to is in every system, Redx, Vulcan, Mojo, whatever system you're using. Okay, the system that I use is Vulcan. If you guys want more information about that, I can send you a discount code. The point that I'm trying to make is that every single one of those systems is going to have a folder. And in those folders, there is a specific folder that has no numbers. And why is this important? Because this is probably one of the biggest gems that I can give you guys. And in that folder, there's no phone numbers. Now, why is this important? Why are you talking about this, Robert? The reason why I'm talking about this is simply because of the fact that 99% of the realtors, they go take a look, they see these for sale by owners, there's no phone number, they don't call them, they don't do anything, they just dismiss them. Some of you don't even know that there is such a folder, and I'm giving you guys this gem. Now, in that folder that has no phone numbers, get those and go and knock on the doors, okay? Because you have no competition. As I've said before, my cute little saying is 2 doors a day will keep the creditors away. This is something that's very important, at least to have that integrity with yourself. All right. Now, when you go out and knock on these doors, I want to make sure that you are following. As I've said in the past, it's the same thing with expireds. You're going to use the 225 method. or the 5-5-10 method. Okay, and what that basically is you're going to go to that for sale by owner, you knock on the door, and let's say, for example, the for sale by owner doesn't open. Now what? Well, you're going to go to the 2 doors to the left, the 2 doors to the right, and the 5 across the street, or 5-5, and then the 10 across the street. Okay. Now, why do we do this? The purpose of this is just simply nothing more than making your time more efficient. Okay, that's what we want to do. Okay, that's what we basically want to do. Now, when we go out there, what do we tell the people that are, the neighbors? We're going to knock on their door. Hi, my name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. I've been trying to get a hold of Bob. As you may or may not know, he's trying to get his property sold here. And I'm just wondering, how do I get a hold of Bob? Okay. And in that, you're going to transition over to them. Okay, so now that I'm here, how about yourself? When are you planning on making a move? How long have you lived here? Where'd you move from? How'd you happen to pick this area? If you were to make a move, where would you go to next? Okay. Any questions based on that? All right.
Would you follow the same kind of script when you go door knocking to them and
Uh,
try to get the same profile?
100%. We want to remember, Beatrice, and this goes, of course, for everybody else, that in the for sale by owner profile sheet, there's two sides to it. The for sale by owner profile sheet, and on the back side is going to be the FSBO script. Your job is to treat it as if though it's a fill in the blank. And in the filling of the blank, you might get question number 1, number 2, number 6, and number 9 answered on that very first call. What you're going to do is you're going to follow up with that on the next call, and you're going to now get question number 3, number 4, and number 8 answered as an example. You're going to continue to fill in the blanks. This is going to create that, in a sense, who you're working with. Okay? So it is the exact same conversation, whether it's over the phone or in person, whatever it may be, you're going to use it for that purpose. Now, that ties into what I wanted to focus on today. What do I want to focus on today? I want to focus on previews. Okay. And what do we do when we go on a preview? The very first thing, I want to make sure that we all understand. I've said this numerous times before. If you want to not take a for sale by owner listing, if you do not want to take a for sale by owner listing, I'm going to encourage you to leave a CMA. If you want to not take a seller listing, leave a CMA. And as a matter of fact, add a net sheet to that. Okay. Why am I saying that? Because when we're out there and all we're doing is giving them information in regards to the value of their home, the cost factors, the commissions, the escrow, the titles, all this other stuff, all they're doing is dissecting it. There's almost nothing that is going to be favorable by doing this. Now, I get it. I understand. Some of you are like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I took a listing like 3 years ago by doing that. I understand. You drop off 100, you might get 1 or 2. But in that, you're going to burn that bridge 97, 98, 99 times. So what do? My personal policy is unless we are presenting, okay, that's the only time we're going to provide them with that CMA and or, of course, that net sheet. Okay. Now, when we preview, why is this important? Because when we preview, the last thing we want to do is simply give them numbers, give them information. They already have that. They don't need that. What you need to do is build, in a sense, that business rapport, not personal rapport. And in building that business rapport, that's the sheet, going back to Beatrice's question, that you need to make sure you're filling out. In the preview, take a look, let them show you around. What have you done to the home? That's awesome. That's great. Now, the other thing too is don't schedule previews and turn it into a listing appointment. That's another way to piss off for sale by owners. You have to get their permission to be able to present. How do we go from a preview to a listing presentation? The way we do that is just simply at the end of the previewing of the property, you're going to tell them, Mr. and Mrs. For sale by owner, I know I can be of some help to you. And I promise you that I wasn't going to turn this into a listing presentation. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask of you if you would allow me the opportunity to share with you the techniques that I use to sell homes. By the way, are you familiar? You're not. I'd love the opportunity. We can do this now, or I can always come back later. Okay. So now this is vital because it's such a fine line that we are walking with these for sale by owners. You set a preview, you try to turn it into a listing appointment right away. Again, you're going to upset them. But if you do it just right, you go through, you're genuine, you listen to with what they're saying, you ask them all the questions, you paint a picture of that motivation. And then what you're going to end up doing is, again, at the very end, sorry, we have a train close by and it's super loud. You're going to turn that into an appointment if you can, but you got to ask for their permission. Okay. Any questions based on what I just mentioned? All right, let's go ahead and move on. Now, this is important because going back to, like I mentioned, the as far as leaving a CMA, it puts you guys in an unfavorable position. Okay, so you do not present, you do not leave a CMA, you do not leave a net sheet until you pre-qualify them. Okay, so we got to pre-qualify them first. So how do we go from a preview into a listing presentation? Well, first off, like I said, I know I can be of some help to you. And the very, very first thing you're going to do is going to pre-qualify them. Now you're going to have larger percentage of the questions because you already have that with you, but you're just simply going to repeat it. Now you mentioned to me that your goal was to get over to San Diego. What part of San Diego are you wanting to go to? North County? Is there a preferable city you guys are wanting to be in? So Escondido. Okay, so as far south as Del Mar. Okay, is there a preferable area? Okay, got it. So Escondido is probably the preferable area you're wanting to be at. I completely understand. And as far as your time frame is concerned, you're just going to go right into the prequel. Okay. Was that any other further insight before we role play?
No, I love that. It's the preview is a big deal. In my mind, like when I'm thinking about leaving a CMA, I have done that in the past. So this is pre-Robert. And so I have done that in the past, and of course it didn't work out very well. But now that you're pointing it out, it makes a lot of sense to not be, talking about the numbers and actually setting a time separately to be intentional with that. So I think that's a really important point.
Yeah,
I
I
have
think the best way to, in a sense, describe that is just simply, meeting somebody for the first time, and I sat there and proposed to the person, "Hey, will you be my wife?" Is that going to work? Maybe, but that I would venture to say that's probably going to be one out of 1,000. Um, you got to go through some version of courtship. And in the courtship, when it comes time to the business, is you got to know why they're doing this. It's the bottom line. Because if you don't know why they're doing it, all you're going to focus on is numbers. And the numbers is going to create that logic. And the logic is going to make them think more. We don't need them to think more. We need them to act more. How do we get them to act more? Is we got to talk about their motivation, their desire, their wants, their needs. What is it that they're wanting to accomplish? And then we just happen to have a real estate license where we can help them get to where it is that they're wanting to get to. Okay. I think somebody was going to ask a question. So any questions that we can address before we get into the role play?
what I had put in the comments, Robert, is like once you go preview their property, would it be appropriate to have them tour their competition around them, either as homework or something to do together so they get logical about what's around them? Because sometimes I find that everybody thinks their property is the best when there's obviously better properties around them.
I mean, you can, but again, we're focusing back on the logic. We're focusing back on the analytics. We're focusing back on the numbers, which is what we're trying to avoid. We don't need them to think more. We need them to act more. And the more that we put numbers in front of them, um, the less likelier they are. And in some cases, if you're not doing it the way that you should, based on with what you're talking about, Beatrice, it could kind of almost said, "I'm right, you're wrong." Okay, that's the purpose of course, the CMA and the presentation. So we want to be careful with that. I'm going to err on the side of don't do that because if that becomes a default, you're probably going to end up working against you than it is going to be for you because all you're getting them to do is think more. Okay, so but of course, we got to know the competition. We got to know who else is out there. We got to know what else is happening. We got to know, and that's going to happen in the actual presentation. All right, let's go ahead and get a role play in. That's the whole purpose of what we're trying to accomplish today is going to actually tomorrow's going to be the last day. And then also just very, very quickly today at 12 o'clock, sorry, at 1 o'clock, I'm going to be doing the for sale by owner mastery in detail. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and break that down. All right, so let's go ahead and go through who wants to be that first person to participate.
I'll
Can
do
I
it,
go?
Robert.
Yeah, let's do it. Awesome. I appreciate you guys fighting over it. So let me see. I have Deborah unmuted, so I'm going to have Deborah go first.
Okay, let me enlarge this script so I can see it.
Hmm?
Okay. Mm. Hi, this is Deborah Patton. I'm a local realtor with Intel Real Estate Services, and I'm calling about the home for sale. Are you the owner?
Yeah, this is him. How can I help you?
Great. What's your name?
My name's Robert.
Robert. Nice to meet you, Robert. I help a lot of for sale by owners in the area, and I was wondering, when do you when you sell this home, where are you planning to go next?
Well, we're looking to stay here in the area. We're just looking for something a little bit bigger.
Oh, okay. So you're looking to stay in the area, just need a little bit more space.
Yeah.
Okay. How much more space do you need, Robert?
Well, I mean, we're right now in a 4,500 square foot lot. I'd like to get on the other side of at least 7,500, preferably a pool if we could. And then our house is 1,800, so we're hoping to get closer to 3,000 if we possibly can.
Okay. So almost double.
Almost, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. Now, how soon did you want to make that move?
No rush. We just want to get this property sold. We want to make as much money as we possibly can. And then, yeah, when the timing is right, we'll make that move.
Okay, so you're not in a hurry. Now, how would you rate your motivation, Robert, on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd probably say about a good 8, maybe a 9.
Okay, 8. Okay, so share with me how you are currently marketing your home.
Well, right now we have the sign out in the yard. We got some flyers out in the community. We have it on a website. But I mean, what was your name again?
My name is Deborah Patton.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I'm telling all the other realtors, I mean, if you have a buyer, you're welcome to bring them by. But we're not looking to list with any agents right now.
Okay, I can understand that. Now, if I do have some buyers that are looking in your area, but I would definitely need to look at your property to see if it's going to be a match for them.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Well, we're going to be doing an open house on Saturday. You're welcome to come by then.
okay, okay. Well, I would like to bring my I would definitely come by and take a look at it. Now, what price are you asking?
Right now we're at 950.
950. How did you come up with that price?
Well, our neighbor across the street sold his home. He sold it for 1 million, just a little under 1 million. Had a pool, and it's the exact same model match, exact same everything. But their pool was super duper tiny. So yeah.
Okay. So are you prepared to adjust your price down when working with buyers?
All right, let's go ahead and stop right there. First off, thank you so much, Deborah, for participating. Let me send it over to Lizette. Any feedback, any things that you can add?
Sure. I think that whenever you do your introduction, simply saying that I'm a local realtor, and that way you can bypass that part. I don't know. I guess I'll leave that to Robert if you want to really say your company's name. But sometimes they have a little bit of a longer name, and sometimes people don't know what company it
Mhm.
is. So just simply saying I'm a local realtor. I liked how you repeated his name a lot, so it made him feel special because you repeated his name, and everybody loves their name. But I think you could have repeated your name more. That way you become more memorable. Um, I liked how you repeated his, but you could have said yours a little bit more.
Okay.
And then you
How
did the
so? Can you
you
can you give me an example of how
yeah.
I can repeat my name?
Yeah, so you could just repeat it in part of the script. Again, my name is Deborah. And then let me see. Just kind of sprinkling it in there. Because I do like how you said his, but just so maybe it could have been said like throughout the script.
Okay.
Um,
So just simply
and
tying it into the question is in a sense the what Lizette is bringing up, which is a really good point. It helps us a little bit become a little more identifiable. Again, my name is Robert. I guess my question to you is how soon were you wanting to be there?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. The other thing
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other thing I could probably add to, thank you, Lizette. The other thing I can add to as you're continuing to move the conversation forward, as you notice, there's a little bit of the stumbling from one question to the other question.
Yep, because I don't know the script.
That's part of it. So I do want to make sure that we do low light that, unfortunately,
Mhm.
but that's part of the critique. So yes, having it internalized is going to help you. The other thing too is using the words, tell me more about that.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me more about that. So you mentioned that you're wanting a little bit bigger home. Tell me more about that. And what that tell me more about that does is it buys us time. And in that
Mhm.
buying of time, even if it is the extra 3 to 5 seconds, if they just simply repeat, well, we just want more space. Okay, well,
Mhm.
you say more space. Are you talking about a house? Are you talking about a lot? Are you talking about a combination of? No, a combination of. Okay, great. What would be the ideal size home for you? What would be the ideal size lot for you? Okay. Who's making this
Okay.
move? Why is this move so important for you? The other thing too is that in asking my name out the gate, I would probably ask the question a little further down the road, maybe
Mhm.
along the line of question number 3, 4, or 5, just somewhere in there, because what it does is it kind of creates the what do you want? Why are you
Mhm.
asking? It just kind of creates a little bit of an awkwardness right out the gate.
Okay.
But other than that, as always, I appreciate you participating. Number one is memorize the script a little bit more, have it down so that you're a little more fluid. Number two is using words along the line of tell me more about that. That's going to help us be able to prolong our secondary questions. And then number three,
Mhm.
exactly in that, those secondary questions, who, what, when, where, why, how, and if, and always focus on them. Okay.
Okay.
Well, awesome. Let's go ahead and
Thank
move on
you.
to somebody else. Who else is going to go? Beatrice, let's do it.
Yes. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Beatrice. I'm a local realtor, and I was calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner?
It is. Who's this?
This is Beatrice. I'm a local realtor. I help a lot of for sale by owners in the area. I was just wondering, when you sell this home, where are you guys planning on going next?
Well, we're going out of state.
Oh, no kidding. Well, who's making that move with you?
Well, it's me, my wife, and our dog.
Okay, and what state are you guys headed to?
Right into Texas.
Texas. And what's taking you to Texas? It's so big. What part of Texas?
Well, we're probably thinking Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, right in that little pocket.
Okay, wonderful. So now, is it a job transfer or is it family? What's the motivating factor?
Yeah, remember, stay away from the is it. That's a Beatrice-ism. Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Rephrase that. So how would we change the is it? Because we
Is
started,
there family waiting for you over there or is it a
yeah,
job transfer?
go away from the is it. Who,
Ah,
what, when, where, why, how, and if. Because the is it, we start to
okay,
be like, is it 3 bedrooms? Is it 7 bedrooms? Is it four
got
bedrooms?
it.
We don't want
When you do make the move, um, is there no, there's the is it again. When you do make the move, why are you making the move?
Okay, now we're thinking. Good job. All right. So in that, you mentioned here Arlington, Fort Worth. You also talked about Dallas as an option. What of those 3 cities is your preferable city? Let's roll reverse.
Okay.
Yeah. So which of those 3 cities is the more preferable option?
It's definitely going to be Dallas.
Oh, nice. Okay, so I know you had mentioned your husband, and your dog. How does your husband feel about making this move?
Well, I mean, they are kind of bummed about leaving the California weather, but Texas does offer more space and and bigger homes.
Yeah, absolutely. What type of home are you guys looking for when you get out to Dallas?
We want to go big. We want to go as big as we can. You know, we have this tiny 1,400 square foot home here, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and we're just ready for space.
Good. Now, when you say big, how big is big?
So over there, I mean, gosh, lots are like 15,000 square feet. And the homes are like, minimum 4 or 5 bedrooms, so 2 story. That's really what I'm looking forward to.
There we go. I love that. So you are looking for big. That you got to go big in Texas, right?
That's right. That's the
Uh,
motto.
There we go. And how soon are you wanting to be over in Dallas in this bigger home?
Ideally in the next 3 months, maybe 3 to 6, just kind of trying to figure it out.
Let's stop right there. So as you can see, I added literally between question number 1 and number 2, who, what, when, where, why, and I focused on you, and I was able to ask secondary questions, just simply staying on topic. I think the one thing I want you to get away from, as I've mentioned before, and it's okay, I just want to make sure we're going to make mistakes. What I'm most nervous about is when we don't realize we're making mistakes. Okay. Because when we go through and you go, is it, gosh dang it, Robert said, don't say, is it? I'm okay with that because you're acknowledging it and you can fix it. It's when you
Okay.
start doing it, that's why we got to go back and listen to our recordings. When you start doing it, you don't even realize, you go, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I said, is it, can you, is it okay? Do you mind? All of these things. And I asked it like 11 times. What it does is it gives us the opportunity to lengthen the conversation, because when we go through the is it, do you mind, is it okay, the all these things, you're going to get yes or no answers, and they're going to be very, very vague of a response.
Dang it. I gotta keep practicing those secondary questions. And that's my point right now. Because I'm getting better. I feel more comfortable. I don't know that I'm getting better, but I feel more comfortable with the script.
Good.
It's just that secondary question to elongate is the part that I'm working on right now.
So here's the homework assignment. This is going to be for everybody, okay? But I am talking to Beatrice in this very second. So the homework for everybody is I want you to write down who, what, when, where, why, how, and if. What you're going to do is you're going to write down all of those questions. Now, I'm going to encourage you, probably even do this exercise every single day. And how are you going to do it? You're going to go who. Who's excited about making this move? Who's making this move with you? Who is it going to impact when this move is made? Who is waiting for you in Dallas? Who, dang it. Okay, I'm out. All right. So, what? And we just continue to go through it. I would even encourage to actually write them down in advance so that you have them right in front of you. Now you can go through and you go, where, where exactly is it that you're, wow, where exactly in Dallas is it that you're wanting to be at? Oh, Northwest Dallas. Well, what's the benefit of Northwest Dallas? I don't even know if they're, if there's such a thing. But in that, it gives us the opportunity to just lengthen the conversation. And again, it's always going to be about them, not about us. Okay, not the yes or no close-ended questions. We want to ask open-ended questions. Any other insights, Lizette, that you want to add?
Just so you know, Patrice, you're getting better. Yeah, you're definitely getting better. I think it's just becoming more aware of it, and because you're aware of it, you're going to get naturally better.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just put down the fishing for questions, but that was pretty much it. That's pretty much it that I put down.
Yeah, great observation, great feedback. Thank you for that. All right, so in that, you guys all have some homework assignment. We have one more day. We're going to cover this as well tomorrow in detail. Now, what I'm going to do, I do this for basically every single last script that we cover, is I do an entire wrap up, and that's going to be again today. I'm going to be doing that at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to go over the entire For Sale by Owner Mastery. So in case you missed a day or two, I would encourage you to come join us, and we're going to be doing that again via Zoom. The other thing in closing is why don't I just simply attend the one day? Well, there's a little bit of a difference between listening to me for 30 minutes about all of the different points that I cover versus the daily of getting in and getting involved and doing the role play, because in the role play, that's where you learn. Okay. And in that, yes, further acknowledging with what Lizette is saying about specifically with Beatrice, and great job, Deborah, as an example, you're going to get better. Okay. But you got to put yourself out there. Okay. As I've said before, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because if you're continuing in the state of comfortness, be careful. Look at your waistline. That's an example of being comfortable. Okay. So we need to get uncomfortable so that we can grow. So with that being said, I just want to take a minute to acknowledge all of you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for, of course, continuing to participate. Tomorrow is going to be the last day, and then we're going to be completely dark for 2 weeks, and then we'll come back after the new year. So hopefully I'll get a chance to see you guys today at 1 o'clock. If not, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. And as always, if you guys want more information about coaching, you can go to my website. As you can see, my handle, www.therobertvillanueva.com. And if you have an office, you're a team leader, you're a broker, you're looking for me to come out, I'll be more than happy to come out to you. All I ask is that you do have a minimum of 20 agents in attendance, and I'll be happy to come out and do a free training for you guys. All right, everybody, let's have a powerful, productive day. Let's go take a listing or 5, and I'll see you guys later today at 1 o'clock.
Robert, can I ask a quick question?
Do it.
Okay, I got a text from you. It says 12:30. Is it 12:30 or is it 1? And how long does it last?
Oh, my apologies. You're absolutely correct. It is 12:30 today. I have my calendar in front of me, which is actually incorrect. So I'm glad you pointed out. So 12:30, everybody, and we'll make sure that we do announce that as well. Thank you.
And
Via
how
Zoom?
long is it? How long is it?
It's going to be 30 minutes, and it's going to
30
be
minutes.
on this exact same Zoom channel.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you,
Very
Robert.
clarifying. All right, everybody.
Thank you, Lizette.
Bye.
Bye.